survival this evening. You may have noticed that I'm nowhere near my rig. There's not a computer in sight, there's no sim in sight. It is just me in a field surrounded by gorse and sheep. And I wanted to have a conversation with you guys because I think there's a lot going on in the world of sim racing right now, and I think, well, there's plenty we can discuss. So, first of all, let me show you my view. So, if I turn around, here we go. That's the Clwydian Range behind me, and the Ruthen Valley in the distance down there. It's a bit hazy today, obviously, but it's pretty nice. So, 4 reasons for having a live stream this evening. One of them is basically because I put on some weight. So I came out for a walk / run, and an attempt to try and feel a little bit better inside my own skin. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, it's important for sim racers, as we are, that sometimes you just need to get outside. You know, it's all very easy to carry on the sim and just drive and try and improve your lap times and things, but sometimes, you know, you just got to take a step away and just come and enjoy the beautiful world around us. So, you know, there's lots to admire in the world, so it's always good to touch grass every now and again just to make sure that you are still connected with the earth. So that's reason number 2. Reason number 3 is not had a live stream for a little while, so I wanted to do something for you guys regardless of what it was, but I thought now was a good time more than ever to do a live stream for you and do something a little bit different, and just to kind of, yeah, just shake it up a little bit, just do something a bit unique and a bit more relatable, I suppose. And then the 4th reason is because there's been a lot going on in the world of sim racing this last week, and rather than trying to cover it all in one stream, which is not really possible, I thought I would try and get this to cover it all in one go. So let me see if I can, I don't know if I can catch your messages here. Let me, live chats here. Okay, right, cool. So first of all, last weekend we had the release candidate version for Automotive Blister 2 released. A few nice tasty pieces of content in there. So first of all, I guess the Formula Junior was a really neat addition to the sim. I'm sure most of you guys have already tried this out as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the chat and the comments as what you think of the Formula Junior. But I think personally, I think it's brilliant. I think it's a great little car. It's good fun to drive, and really good to race as well. So you can race with the AI quite nicely. You can go 2-3 wide into some of the corners, and it's a lot of fun. So that was really good. Impressed with that. Other good stuff from that content, obviously we've got the new Formula USA modern day version, I suppose, not the official IndyCar we were hoping for, obviously, but there's reasons behind that. But yeah, that's quite nice as well. They've done a good job with that. It's obviously not exactly the same looking as modern day IndyCar for obvious reasons, but it does the same job and it works really well as well. So yeah, that's a nice addition. And along with that, we've been lucky enough to have some physics updates for some of the Formula Retros, the Formula Vintages as well, as part of their new I guess physics overhaul and the way they've been able to work some more magic with the Madness engine. So all the Formula Retros that I've driven and the Formula Classics as well, they definitely do have that more connected feel to the road, so that's a really good positive step, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the other cars are going to be like with the new improvements as well, which I'm sure will be coming along very soon. As well as that, we had Barcelona as well, because we had the Barcelona Spanish GP on the weekend, and a bit of a dullish race, I suppose, a bit of action, not much, but you know, it was okay. So we have Barcelona in AMS2 now, which is, you know, a neat addition, so it's good for the Formula Ultimates. And yeah, so that's AMS2, some good stuff there. Obviously we'll do some videos on this as well in the future. This is just a kind of a roundup really as to what's happened in the last week or so. Aside from that, we've also had updates in iRacing. So if you're an iRacer, then you've been probably enjoying the season 3 highlights from this latest drop. So we have new Cadillac LMH, DPI/LMH, whatever they are. We have the Ligier LMP3, which is very nice. We have the new Porsche Porsche GT3R, the 993.25 5, whatever the derivation is, I can't remember right now, but yeah, new Porsche, which is OP at the moment, I'm led to believe, so yeah, figure that one out. We also have Willow Springs, which to me is probably one of the highlights of the release, actually. The Willow Springs track is beautiful. It's really, it's very different to the rest of the circuits on iRacing. It's very rugged, it's very, I don't know, it's just very worn and just, you know, like an old school kind of really, you know, hands-on type track. So it's really cool. It's nicely done in iRacing as well with the new 3D surround, you know, the what's it called, the scenery, basically. Good scenery. We also had Motorland Aragon added to iRacing as well, which is a really good track. I enjoyed that one in Race Room, so it's nice to have that in iRacing as well. And then there's Dirt updates as well, I believe. I've not tried those yet. Let me know if you have. But mixed views on that from what I've seen anyway. So yeah, if you're just joining us now and you are figuring out what on earth's going on here, as I explained at the beginning, I'm doing a little bit of a different stream this evening, and I'm out and about in the countryside near where I live to get myself fit, and also just to catch up with you guys, really, to see how things are going. So other new stuff that's happened this week, we were given, as many other content creators were given, a press release from Studio 397 and Motorsport Games regarding the brand new Le Mans Ultimate, which was a bit of a surprise. No one really saw that coming. I was working obviously because I had no idea of what's coming up. But yeah, a proper World Endurance Championship licensed official game, as they call it in the title, but based around the same developer team as rFactor 2. Now, to me, it's quite exciting because obviously it's always good to get new content. I know a lot of people have been very hesitant about it because of the Motorsport Games link and the history that's gone on there, and yeah, I get that, I understand that. Obviously there's the controversy around the exclusive licenses, which takes away opportunities for other sims to get involved. But personally, I think it's good in a way because it's nice to have variety. I really think it's important to have the variety and the options for people if they like that kind of racing, that they can have something which is specifically dedicated to their favourite genre of the sport. So F1 obviously have their own game which is around that whole sport and everything to do with it. And hey Steve, welcome along. Says get the drone up. I wish I could. I don't have one, so you've got my left hand basically. So that's the drone for the evening. But I'll show you the surroundings again if you missed it. So here we go. Nice little panorama around where we live. Beautiful evening here in North Wales, and yeah, nice to be out and getting a breath of fresh air for a change. I feel like I'm stuck behind my desk all day at home, not really moving anywhere, not getting any exercise. So I was like, right, that's it, I'm getting onto it, and I'm going to try and get myself fitter. So yeah, so Le Mans Ultimate, it's kind of divided a lot of people. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like. I recently kind of got more into rFactor 2. You got a drone of you, Steve. Awesome. That'd be really good. It's a perfect evening for a drone. It's a little bit windy, but not too bad. I'm sure it'll be okay up here. But yeah, so I started recently getting more into rFactor 2 and trying out the Le Mans content, the prototypes, the GTEs, etc. And yeah, really enjoying it. So it's been quite nice to do that. And then obviously this has come around with the new Le Mans Ultimate announcement. So yeah, it'd be really good to have a full season. So obviously with that, we get the hypercar category. So we have all the current hypercars in there. We've got the van wall in RF2 now, but to be honest, it's 6 seconds off the pace, I believe. So it'd be nice to get all the specification of hypercars in there for a proper battle. We'll have the LMP2s, even though they've just announced today that that's not going to be continuing in WEC next year. We're going to get the GT AMs. What I am wondering though is, because it's 23, I wonder whether they'll add in the NASCAR as well, the Garage 56 entry. I don't know. It'd be really good if they did, because I think that'd be just a wicked car to drive, to be honest. But yeah, so lots of really interesting stuff coming up, and obviously that's going to potentially roll on into the next seasons, I suppose, of World Endurance Championships. So we'll get the updated cars, liveries, etc. most likely. What I'd also really like to know is if they're going to go backwards. So they've got obviously the World Endurance Championship license, I suppose, but it'd be nice to know if they could do, don't know, a little bit of Le Mans history, maybe some GT1s, some Group Cs, some 50 sports cars, some D-types, etc. That would be really cool. So it'd be interesting to see what direction they go with that. But yeah, so let's see what happens, guys. Let's see how it progresses, because I think a lot of people are writing it off instantly because it's Motorsport Games involvement, but I do think that there is some good potential there, and I reckon that we can probably have a really good sim coming out of this. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens with that. But yeah, so guys, I mean, ask away, ask any questions. If you have any questions about any of the current releases, or you have some comments about what you thought about the new stuff that we've seen in either of the sims we've mentioned already so far this evening, or anything in general, just let me know, and we'll have a conversation and we'll have a chat about it. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of, yeah, just get out into the sunshine, enjoy it, because let's be honest, we don't get an awful lot of it here in the UK, so when we do get it, we should make the most of it. But yeah, North Wales is an amazing place, to be honest. I'm very, very lucky to live where I live. I think it's you know, very easy to take for granted just how incredible it is here, because I remember when we first moved, we felt like we were on holiday permanently, which was really cool, and some of that magic, I guess, got lost over time. So it's nice to try and remind myself of just how lucky I am to live where I live. So yeah, I mean, sim racing itself is in a good place at the moment, I think, guys. I think, you know, there's lots going on. We have, we're spoiled for choice, aren't we, really? Because let's be honest, there's so much availability out there for whatever we want to drive or whatever we want to do. So I think it's good in a way, because sometimes you might be thinking, oh well, it will dilute the player base, you don't get as many players on one sim because they're all spread across different sims, and yeah, that is true to a point. But I think if you have a particular sim that you choose to drive, there's always going to be people who are having that same interest as you, so there will be means and ways of finding places to race with people if you want to race online. But even if you want to just race offline, there's so much choice availability depending on what you want to drive. So yeah, I think it's in a good place at the moment. So yeah, I mean, what can we say? I mean, AMS2, I think it's going good places. So it's really looking well at the moment. I'm really excited for the new stuff coming along. Hey Frank says, whoa, where are you, Phil? I am not far from my house, but I'm up on the Clwydian range, so I'll turn around. Is it windy? If we go this way, you can see behind me there's a mast over there. So if you keep walking that way, you'll end up towards Movamai, and then keep on walking that way, you'll end up in the sea, so you'll get a bit wet. But this is the Clwydian range. We have some incredible hillside around us here. So yeah, just out enjoying nature. You probably won't be able to see this over this direction, but through the haze over there, there's a whole heap of wind turbines on the hill there, powering my stream this evening. But yeah, so a bit of a different backdrop to just seeing my blank white wall. So yeah, why not? It is probably quite windy, so I'll come over this direction so it's a little bit out of the wind. Hunker down in some gorse bushes. Oh, there we go. Are you streaming tomorrow, says Steve? We'll see. I mean, obviously Le Mans is on tomorrow, so I'm aware that there's a lot of people who probably want to watch Le Mans. But if you guys want me to stream something tomorrow, I will endeavour to do so and do something alongside what we've done this evening, of course, obviously. But yeah, we could look at streaming something tomorrow. If you have any preferences or thoughts on what you would like me to stream tomorrow, let me know, and I'll take it into consideration. I guess also, if we're wrapping up stuff that's happened in the world of sim racing this week, I suppose we should also cover a couple of other points. One is there's been a couple of updates to ACC. So we've had some BOP adjustments, which I think has mirrored real life adjustments from what I've read. So there've been discussions about what kind of BOP is being introduced to different GT3 cars, and they've made some adjustments in ACC to mirror real life, which is good. Whether it works effectively in sim, I'm not sure. I've not tried it yet, but you know, some of these BOP adjustments in real life, they do tend to not always work as well as perhaps they're intended to, I suppose. But yeah, so there's some adjustments there. So hopefully that brings in some of the older cars to the mix, because I know when they were released, the new 296, the new GT3 Porsche, and the new Lamborghini were quite hot in terms of power and performance. But that meant that some of the older cars, like the old Nissan GTRs and the older spec cars like the Ferraris, the Mercs, etc., may not have had the same outright pace. And to a degree, that's supposedly correct, because things change and things get quicker and evolve, don't they? They develop cars. That's why they introduce new versions, so they can get quicker, right? So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that balances out when you come to the older cars versus the newer cars in ACC. Other important sim racing news this week. There's been a lot going on this week, to be honest. It's been pretty busy for a sim racing news week. Is the release of the Rennsport beta key. So they've now opened the open beta. So they've sent out various keys to various people who've signed up for the beta along the way, and they've got into the hands of people who can give it a go for themselves. So I haven't got one yet. I have signed up, but I haven't got a key yet. But I'm not going to go pressing like some people do. They're like, "Oh, where's my key? Where's my key?" No, mine will arrive when it's ready to arrive. I'm not going to push people into it. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. If we get our key at some point, we'll have to test that out. Some good stuff coming out of there by the looks of things. From what I've seen, people seem to be quite happy with how it's developed. So obviously still things to work on, still things to improve, as all sims have, to be honest. There's no sim out there which is completely perfect and without fault. So there's always ways and means of improving things as you go. So yeah, so Rennsport's now out in the public domain. It's no longer just the the environment of the professional esports drivers who have the opportunity to test this new sim, which hasn't even been released officially yet. So yeah, interesting times ahead for that particular title, which again adds to even more variety for people to enjoy. So yeah, exciting times in that regard. There was another piece of sim racing news which I was going to share with you. I came across something today. I don't know whether you guys have seen anything of this or not, but I came across something. It's probably just rumor, but interested nonetheless. We know that F123, which is obviously now done by EA rather than Codemasters itself, actually. It's an EA bought company, so they're behind the things now. But that's due to come out in July, I believe. But also in July, I've seen something about WRC 2023. Now, we know that the WRC games, the official licensed ones, have been done by Kiloton Games for the last few years, and they've been a bit lackluster in some regards, and a little bit difficult to set up in terms of controls and all that kind of stuff. So they've not really gone down a storm per se, such as the likes of Dirt Rally 2, which is far more popular, but maybe not quite as I don't know. It's not a realistic game anyway. I don't think it's got its arcadey style physics at times, but it doesn't have the same level of WRC licensing as obviously the official WRC game does. So we now have potentially WRC 2023, which is coming along supposedly in July. So don't quote me on that. I haven't got official figures or official release information on that. It's just something I saw online, which I found quite interesting, because if that's the case, then that's another one that's gone under the radar, and it's completely bypassed most people, and all of a sudden we're going to release this. So yeah, interesting times. So let's see what happens with that as well. I think rally games themselves they're probably the nichest of the niche in the sim racing industry, because if you're thinking about sim racing, most people are like, yeah, circuit racing, oval racing, they're pretty important and they're very popular, so most people will get involved with something like that. But when you take on rallying, it has its own group of very devoted fans, but as a pick up and play sim racing style content, it's not as easy as circuit racing or oval racing to just jump into and drive, because let's be honest, there's things like trees and lampposts and buildings and things to catch you when you go off. So it's not quite as forgiving in the real world. So for the most part, rally games have really just been that. They've just been games. There's no real simulation side of things. But having said that, I do feel that Richard Burns Rally is very good in the simulation side of things. I know it's very old. We've driven it a couple of times on the channel, and it's been fun. And yeah, I think it's really good. All the things that have been done to it over the years to make it what it is today. Obviously, that real enthusiasts for Richard Burns Rally have done a lot of work on it to make it where it is now, and it's in a good place. I think that's really a good rally sim, but I think we're ready. I think as a sim racing industry and community, I think we are ready for a proper rally sim, a modern day one, you know, an up-to-date one, modern day graphics, modern day physics calculations, modern day hardware compatibility, all that kind of good stuff. I think it's time. So hopefully we can get something pretty good with WRC 2023. We'll wait and see. We've had no real details on that at all, but hopefully it's a good one. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I mean, there's been, I say that's it, I mean, that's an awful lot for 1 week's worth of sim racing news, but I just wanted to kind of cover it all in one go rather than just having bits and pieces coming out every now and again. But I think with so much going on, there's just lots to talk about, isn't there? So it's good. But also, another reason for being out here and to re-engage with the world is how are you guys? I hope you're okay. I just wanted to just check in on you guys, because you know we see each other every weekend mostly, but sometimes, you know, it's good to just have a catch up and a chat to make sure everyone's okay, because although from my side you appear as names on a chat board, you're still people, so you still need to have someone check in with you and just say, you know, are you all right? Are you keeping okay? So this is my message to you guys. So, you know, I hope you're well. If you are struggling, or if you're not doing so great, speak up. Just, yeah, send me a message on Discord, send me a comment on anything online. If you're needing assistance with anything, just give me a shout and I'll do my best to help you out where I can. Because let's be honest, at times things are tough, you know, it's hard. Life is hard sometimes, and it can easily get down on you, and you can easily find yourself in a very difficult place. So if you're finding yourself in that kind of frame at the moment, you're not on your own. Okay, just remember that you're not on your own. You've got people around you who care about you, who want the best for you. So, you know, don't hide, don't shy away, because we all need conversation every now and again. We all need to have time to just slow down, reconnect, and just, yeah, remember who we are, and remember that we are human, and we need it sometimes. Where do you get the SRB caps from? And this is a one in a kind. This is unique to me. We we were messing around a while ago. My brother-in-law Saul, who I set SRB up with, we were messing around with some merch a while ago, and this is a sample of one of those, and it's served pretty well. I use it everywhere I go. So if you want an SRB cap, I can make some SRB caps. We can do that. Yeah, so you enjoy some outdoor stuff as well, Frank? Yeah, it's good. You know, sometimes it's good just to, if nothing else, just clear your head and just, you know, just wipe away anything you may have been worrying about in the world, and just take a fresh start and a fresh look at things. So yeah, it's good. It's good to be outside and reconnect. And just lucky enough that I have on my doorstep the ability to get out into such amazing countryside, and yeah, to be out here is amazing. So hey Doloro, welcome along. It's good to have you guys with us this evening. I know this is a little bit different to what we're used to doing here on Sim Racing Bible. This is a much slower pace. It's a much much different environment. It's going to get back up again here. Nice view in the background. You haven't seen anything yet, Doloro. Look at this. How about that? It's over the way that way. That's right, we're in Wales, we're in North Wales, one of the most beautiful parts of the country, and we're out enjoying some sunshine, talking sim racing, checking up on each other, making sure we're okay. So yeah, I just wanted to do something different this evening and just slow the pace down a little bit. But we will be back in the hot seat at some point, I'm sure. I think there's been a lot going on in our own personal lives. I won't go into it, but I'll let you know that sometimes you get things in life which can trial you a little bit, and they can make you a little bit I don't know, worse for wear, I suppose. So not really felt the urge to go streaming. You could say this one's more philosophical. Well done, Frank. 10 points to you, Frank. But yeah, so not really had the desire to pick up the OBS and go streaming or create videos recently. You may have noticed because there hasn't been much going on, and I apologize for that. But yeah, I think, as I said, I just need a reset just to be able to kind of refocus and go again and get ready for the next stint. So we'll be back behind the wheel very soon, don't worry. This is not the end. this is just a pit stop, should we say, on the side of a mountain, with the sun going down. So yeah, it is a bit more of a philosophical one. I'm gonna take that one. But yeah, I mean, guys, if you want to see more stuff like this, if you want us to talk about motorsport in general, talk about sim racing, happy to create some chatting scenes and chatting live streams just to shoot the breeze, you know, and just catch up as sim racing people and just yeah, discuss things. Because sometimes it's, you know, although I can talk and drive, there's a limit sometimes, especially if I'm trying to concentrate around Monaco or something. But you know, you can only get so many words out when you're trying to drive a race car at high speed. So sometimes it's good to just have a moment to say all the things you want to say. As far as real world motorsport's concerned, obviously it's Le Mans this weekend, the 100th running of Le Mans, the centenary edition, and quite incredible, really. I mean, I think the entry's pretty strong. Good grid of hypercars, well, in numbers compared to what we've had in the past. I still think it's very much maybe one or two teams which are out in front. So Ferrari's one, Toyota obviously being the other. So yeah, I don't know who's going to take the win. I mean, what are your predictions for Le Mans? Obviously Ferrari have put it on pole, and in front row in fact, with both cars, I believe. So will they have the reliability? That's what it is. It's all very well being quick around Le Mans, but you've got to get to the end of the race too. You can't be just bolting off from the beginning and then breaking your car and not being able to finish in the position that you started. So you've got to go the distance. So will Ferrari do that? I don't know. It's the first big test for most of these hypercars. The only ones which have got any kind of proper experience with this would be the Toyota team. Obviously they've run Le Mans numerous times, but yeah, as far as that's concerned, I don't know how much the other guys have really prepared for this. I mean, obviously they've been putting a lot of work in, but nothing really prepares for the tolls that take on a race car of 24 hours around Le Mans. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It could be a race of attrition. They could all finish and be quite close at the end. We just don't know. So interesting one. Looking forward to seeing what happens with that. Obviously the final Le Mans foray of LMP2, which is now going to be completely regarded to European Le Mans series. No GTE Pro this year, just the AMs, with pro drivers intermingled with the AMs. So yeah, and then of course the whopping great NASCAR, which is awesome, to be honest. I think it's brilliant, and it's a good, I think it was about 5 seconds a lot quicker than the GTE cars, which is pretty impressive, to be honest, and quickest in the pit stops as well. So yeah, mightily impressive. I hope they do well. It'd be pretty cool to see them right up the front and and battling for a good position overall by the end of it. So yeah, no Formula One this weekend, so Sunday afternoon naps are safe. No British touring cars, I believe, this weekend. I think they're next weekend. I can't remember. Yeah, I think they are next weekend at Alton. So I think what else is on this weekend? Most of it will just revolve around Le Mans, really, because most people try and keep their calendars completely clear for the Le Mans weekend to allow drivers to go off and do that. So yeah, good weekend of motorsport. I hope you, if you are going to watch it, I hope you enjoy watching Le Mans. But yeah, so that kind of covers it off really for our stream this evening. Just want to catch up with you guys, catch up with some sim racing news, and yeah, there we go. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Thanks for being out here on this hillside with me. It's coming up to sunset very soon. We're pretty much in golden hour right now. So I'm going to have to make my way back, otherwise I'll be walking home in the dark, which should be interesting down the lanes in racing action. So thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate each and every one of you. We're over 2,000 subs now, which is incredible to me. So it's all because of you guys. So I am completely humbled by how much you guys love the content we do, even when I'm just sitting on a hillside surrounded by gorse and long grass. But thank you so much, guys. Take care of yourselves. We will be back very, very soon. But until then, keep on sim racing, keep it flat out. Bye bye for now.